Imagine the weight you carry as a limited partner. Every dollar you commit, every promise you make, it's not just money. It's your trust, your future, your belief in something bigger than yourself. But ask yourself, how fragile is that trust? How close is it to shattering? What if, right now, a single limited partner, someone just like you, could unravel everything? The entire fund, the collective dream, collapsing like a house of cards in the slightest breeze of doubt or misstep. That's not just fear talking. That's the ugly truth nobody screams out loud. You don't have to look far to see the cracks. When funds stumble, when fundraising slows, when markets spiral, fingers point. But what many ignore is the hidden power a single limited partner holds. The power to set off a chain reaction that can either break the whole system or pull it back from the edge. It's a power that feels invisible until it's too late, like a silent game-changing move made from the shadows. That's the pain you feel deep down, the sleepless nights staring at your portfolio, questioning everything. Are you really safe? Is your money working or barely surviving? Is your partner, your manager, playing with fire that could burn down your entire investment? And worse, can one limited partner's move trigger a domino effect no one can stop? It's terrifying because the answer isn't a straight line. It's a web of trust, decisions, and vulnerabilities where every step counts. The truth is, a fund is like a living organism built on fragile agreements and silence. When one limited partner pulls out or questions the process harshly, it sparks fear amongst others. Suddenly, what was once solid starts to shift. Contracts become battlegrounds. Doubts grow into panic, and that carefully built fortress starts cracking. And it doesn't take many moves to witness a cascade of withdrawals, lost deals, and credibility blown to pieces. But here's what most don't realize. This power isn't just a threat. It's the key. The key that separates those who watch helplessly from those who act wisely. To protect your hard-earned capital, to turn the tide, you have to see beyond the surface. You have to understand that your actions, your voice, your stance as a limited partner can be the difference between total collapse and a powerful resurgence. So, how do you move from fear to control? First, never underestimate your position. Limited partners aren't just silent investors who write checks and hope for the best. You are part of a system that thrives or fails because of the energy and vigilance you bring. You must be relentlessly curious, digging into the details, questioning the decisions quietly made behind closed doors. Don't take reports at face value. Demand transparency, clarity, and honesty as your non-negotiable right. Because when you settle for vague comfort, you're already giving your power away. Second, diversify your influence, not just your dollars. It's a mistake to think that your money alone is your leverage. Influence comes from relationships, from being a force within the partner network. Speak up early when things don't feel right. Coordinate with others who share your concerns. Create a network within the limited partners group that acts as a watchdog collective. When one voice echoes, it's easy to ignore. But when the right network moves together, it shakes the foundation. Third, insist on structures that protect you, governance mechanisms with real teeth. Funds sometimes hesitate to give transparency or flexibility because they want control. But remember this, your investment isn't there to make managers comfortable, it's there to be safeguarded. Demand clear clauses that let you step in or push for changes before things spiral irreversibly. Insist on checkpoints and exit plans that can be activated without catastrophic penalty. It's not about trust without verification. It's about marrying trust with smart, enforceable control. Fourth, And this is the game changer. Learn to recognize early signs of decay, not just financial metrics, but subtle shifts in communication, delays in reporting, and changes in the manager's behavior. These are red flags screaming danger long before numbers fall off a cliff. If something feels off, don't brush it aside. Investigate. Push for answers. In fund management, prevention beats crisis management every single time. Now here's the hardest but most powerful advice. Prepare mentally and emotionally for confrontation. The landscape is not always friendly. Calling out issues, demanding transparency, or orchestrating collective actions will ruffle feathers. It might unsettle your partnerships. Some will call you difficult. They'll try to silence your doubts as paranoia or impatience. But remember, standing silent is what causes collapse. Your role isn't to please everyone. It's to defend your investment with fierce commitment. Imagine, for a moment, a single limited partner who wakes up to this power and responsibility. This person asks every uncomfortable question, forges alliances, holds funds accountable before problems become crises. This one partner becomes a catalyst of resilience. Their vigilance creates an atmosphere where managers operate with maximum integrity and accountability. Their actions remind everyone involved that the fund is a living instrument, a shared promise that needs care and courage. That's the shift from passivity to powerful engagement. No longer a mere investor, but a warrior of your own capital's fate. This mindset change alone can tip the balance between collapse and survival. When limited partners awaken to this truth and move collectively, the entire investment ecosystem strengthens. It becomes less of a game of chance and more a battle of wisdom, foresight, and boldness. So how can this move transform your entire approach? Start right now by identifying your leverage. Map out your rights, your influence channels, your crew of like-minded LPs. Reach out, connect, and mobilize before problems even appear. Set your expectations with fund managers clearly and firmly. Insist on updates you can trust, mechanisms that protect your exit options. Push for transparency so thorough it leaves no dark corners. You hold a power many are blind to. The power to either collapse a fund with a cautious but decisive move, or to save it with relentless vigilance. That power, held with responsibility, dignity, and strategic action, turns fear into opportunity. It shatters the illusion that limited partners are powerless shadows and reveals your true identity as guardians of real value, as players who rewrite the rules of engagement in private equity. And this is not just theory. History shows crooks and complacents who ignored their LPs, got burned, and took funds to the abyss. But shining examples of LPs who organized, questioned, and refused silence created stories of revival, resilience, and massive growth. They didn't just survive, they thrived. Because they understood the truth. The health of a fund is a reflection of the strength and courage of its limited partners. You're standing at a crossroads. Continue in silence and risk collapse slowly, invisibly, until it's too late. Or step into your power, intervene early, demand more, unite with your fellow limited partners, and shift the trajectory to safety and growth. This isn't about doom. It's about awakening, strategy, and seizing control in a world that wants you passive. No one else is going to protect your capital with the ferocity you can. That's not arrogance, that's fact. Your future depends on breaking free from assumptions and stepping into action. This isn't about blame or paranoia, it's about survival and legacy. Because funds aren't abstract numbers. They're the hopes and dreams you invested in, and they need you awake, aware, and ready to wield your influence like never before. So don't wait for the collapse to begin. or for others to drag you into panic. Harness your power now. Ask the tough questions. Build your network. Insist on transparency and real protections. Recognize the signs early. Prepare for the challenge. This movement of deliberate, empowered limited partners isn't just an idea. It's a necessary revolution. One person can start it, but the strength comes from many waking up together. In this moment, remember, one single limited partner absolutely can collapse an entire fund. But equally true, one single limited partner, by acting with focus, courage, and strategy, can be the unbreakable foundation that stops collapse cold, builds resilience, and shapes a future where investments don't just survive, they ignite. Don't let power slip through your fingers disguised in fear or false comfort. You are more than a number. You are the vital pulse of the fund, the guardian of everything it stands for. Own that truth and transform your role from passive investor to unstoppable force. The time to act is now. Because the difference between collapse and survival isn't luck, it's you.